going here?
Zach, how's it going?
Good, good.
I haven't seen you in a bit.
I'll ask you that. Zarek, how are you doing after that win tonight?
Good. I mean, listen, you enjoy these moments because the season hasn't gone the way a lot of us had planned. And I think days and nights like we just had remind us of how frustrating that can be, because we can put together a performance against arguably the best team in the league. I mean, they've been the best team. Them in New England, by far, the best team in the West, whatever. And we could put together a performance like we did. One of our better ones throughout the course of the year. And it reminds us of how good we are, but it also reminds us of how many points and situations we've lost that have put us in a bad situation. And, I mean, we need to win out, and we need a lot of help. And we have no one to blame but ourselves. But ultimately, again, all you can do is control the controllables and take it one game at a time, and I think we did that tonight. And we look forward. We're going to enjoy it because it's a good team and it's a good performance. But ultimately, we could lose on Wednesday and we're donezo and regress. So we're going to enjoy it, but ultimately we're going to refocus after tomorrow and look towards the future.
And before I turn it over to reporters on here, just give me from where you were out on the field, kind of your perspective on the two goals that Maxi and Darwins scored. Because from up here, both of them looked phenomenal. But just curious from how it looked on the field and what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, when you have guys like that, especially obviously Darwin, getting a goal, getting an assist, and Maxi with the technique he has, they're going to create chances. And ultimately, when we played tonight, being in the guy in the middle of the back, trying to limit the other team, knowing that we have some really special players and that are going to create some stuff up top. We have a guy in Fafa who, in my opinion, his name should have been in the national team conversation. I love Paul. I know Paul personally, and I know all the other wingers, and I know Christian, and I know all these guys, right? But ultimately, when you look at the body of work that he's put in this year, having a record-breaking year, and even just recently, going on the string of games where he scored some goals, he should have thrown his name in that hat, and I'd be shocked if Greg said he wasn't. So he's up there. Then obviously Maxi with the technique and his history in MLS, and Darwin. Darwin's name speaks for Darwin, and he's, the second goal is redonkulous, right? Dribbling over a guy, megging somebody, looking like a video game. And again, that's a good team, and credit to them because we have good players, and they made it very difficult for us. And it wasn't like it was a walk in the park. There's a reason they're this good. There's a reason they have 17, 18 wins, and they're top of the West. But ultimately, I think we had some good individual moments of brilliance and defended our asses off. And that's going to get you results in this league. And they created chances too, They hit the post, we hit the post. I mean, we had at the end of the game, 90-plus minute, he hits it. I mean, you literally cannot hit a free kick better unless it's in the net. So it was a pretty, there's chances for both teams, and we came out on top. But credit to the guys who made plays for our team. And like I said, we're going to enjoy it, but we have to refocus and look towards Wednesday already.
Okay, I see some questions on here, so I'll turn it over to the other guys. We'll start with Jesus Acevedo from the Bayou City. And go ahead, Jesus.
Hey, Zarek. You guys played a back three, and you were in the center of the back three. Have you often, I guess, is that the first time that you played in the center of a back three? And then the second part is, how'd you like playing in the center of that back three?
Yeah, I've done it in trainings before. I've never actually played in the back three in a game, but I grew up my entire life playing center back. If you ask a lot of the old coaches in this league, the coaches that scouted me, I grew up playing center back for the national team. Tab see me play for center back for the youth national team, so it's not anything that's completely foreign to me. I almost feel more comfortable at times there because it's just, you kind of get a little bit on auto control, and judging by my voice, you can tell that I definitely did not talk very much out on the field. No, I talk a lot on and off the field. So if I have reason to actually be in the middle, and now I can yell at Sam, and I can yell at Griff, and I can yell all across the field, great, I love that. And on the ball, it's one of these situations where, I'm going to touch the ball a lot more than a right back, and I feel very comfortable doing so. And when I have guys on the wings and my two holding mids that provide me support and show good angles, they make my job very easy. And for me, I loved it. I love playing out there, and it's something where I feel very comfortable playing in the middle there, whether we go forward with that or on the right. I feel very comfortable. playing center back or whether in the middle of three, and it's one of these things where I love it. I love having control of where we keep our line. I love having control of trying to put guys in certain spots and not getting put out of position, whether it's goal kicks, whether it's counterattacks. I really enjoy that because I feel a lot of my career has led me to the point where I can be a leader out there and be a leader with the ball, trying to control the tempo or without the ball. And hopefully I showed a little bit of that tonight. And again, whether we play that way going forward is going to be up to Tab, but I enjoyed it very much, and I hope my teammates like playing there next to me. Ultimately, that's a big part of it too. And winning also helps, but ultimately, when coaches make changes whether you win or lose or not. So I'm going to try to go out there and put my best foot forward. And thankfully, I have a lot of good players literally all around me. Mikey making saves, Tim Teenage, and then the two holding mids in front of me.
Would you maybe ask Tab, hey, can I play in the middle again of a back three, because you're able to use your voice more and use more of your passing, and obviously you don't have to run so much up top. You can just kind of focus on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he went home, so I can't ask him tonight, but maybe this week I might ask him. But again, it's one of these situations where ultimately the coach sees the field, and I try to put my best foot forward, whether I'm on the right, in the middle, whether I'm in the goal, or whether I'm a winger. I don't care. I try to help the team, and I just want to help the team as best as possible. And I think we have a lot of good players. And again, this year hasn't gone exactly the way we had envisioned, but ultimately I think that we got to end the year on a good foot, and it starts tonight. But ultimately we have, the end of our schedule is ridiculous. We have Galaxy midweek, Austin away, Colorado at home, and then we go away to Montreal. That's really, really tough games. But I know we're up for it and we're excited. And again, I'd love to play in that position going forward. And ultimately, I just want to play. I love playing. I love putting in a shift for the fans, because they're out there spending their money, spending their time with us, and they could be at the Astros games when, now that they're in the playoffs, but, when they're choosing to come with us, that's a responsibility that we have, and we want to go out there and put a gritty performance, because this is a hard-working city. This is a fucking hard-working city, and they deserve that. Sorry, pardon my French. That's not French, but just pardon my worry, but they deserve that. And I think we gave that to them tonight, and we have to go do that again Wednesday and then do it again the next day, because they deserve that, and that's minimally what we have to do.
You feel like after this performance, you're like, where has this team been these past couple of months? I know you guys have had some couple bad luck touches here and there, but we're just asking yourself, where have we been this whole season?
A little bit, but ultimately it comes down to moments, and I've spoken about this. We've lost moments, and tonight we didn't. We are tuned in, we are dialed in, and there's you could potentially pick and choose whatever reasons that happens, but ultimately you can't control the past. So I'm not someone, and my teammates aren't people who are going to look back and say, man, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, we probably might a little bit, but we can't affect those games. All we can literally do is affect going forward, and then maybe once the end of the season comes, then we can go back and say, man, we gave up this goal, we gave up that goal. And even tonight, and in the past, we haven't been a team that hasn't gotten broken down where teams are making 30 passes and they're playing a FIFA goal across the box and tapping in. It doesn't really happen. It's moments. We've lost goal kicks, corner kicks. Tonight, Jimmy's done. How many times has Jimmy done that? Literally, like I've asked Portland. He's done that in Kansas City. He's done that before. And, if it hits me in the head, my head's probably still on the field, and I probably can't play for the next 3 months. But ultimately, it's one of these things where you take your lump and you try to move forward, and we're going to try to do our best to finish the season on a high note. And we control the controllables. That's all we can do. All we can do is go in and work our asses off and try to put in a good performance against the Galaxy, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Thanks, Zarek.
Thank you.
We'll go over to Victor Ariza, striker. Go ahead, Victor.
Man, the St. Arnold tastes really great. Sponsor me. It's okay.
Hey, Zarek. As a former Portland guy, what does this win mean? And I imagine you're also maybe you had sent some texts to the Timbers asking for some help tonight against the Galaxy.
I got a few texts, I'll tell you that much. We got the fish. And it's one of these things where coming to Houston, my hatred for Dallas I didn't need that. That was ingrained when I came out of the womb. I grew up outside of Philadelphia. Eagles, hate the Cowboys. I literally had a t-shirt on when I went to go. I've been to a few Eagles games, and I was at the game a while ago, and I wore a t-shirt, Dallas sucks, and that's ingrained in me. And that's something that literally people in our staff know, and people in our staff feel the same way as me. And so that was so natural for me. That was easy. And then we played them in the playoffs in 18 when I was with the Timbers on the road, and we were beating them 3-1, and their fans decide to throw their beers at me. That's cool, really classy. But again, that's even more, that feeds my fuel to hate Dallas. And that's something whether I play for the Dynamo, Timbers, Montreal, Buda Glimt, wherever I'm at, I'm going to hate Dallas. And then when I moved to Portland, that's a rivalry that is years, decades deep. And that's something that, when you play in those rivalries, those Clásicos, that means more at times than other games. And when you get there, when you play in the playoff games in CenturyLink or whatever the hell that football stadium's called, and then when you play games at home, those mean more. And, you grow to have this, this rivalry internally with them too, because they're a damn good team. And I've played bad against them. And I've played injured against them. And they've, and I've had rough times. And I've also had good games. But it's one of these things where I have developed this internal rivalry because I also ultimately respect what Brian and what Ziggy built. They've built a team that is, historically, I think they made the playoffs 13 of 13 years. So you respect that. But ultimately, these games are fun. When you play against good teams, that's fun. It's a battle, and they have good players, and they have guys who are in the MVP conversation, and they have guys who are on the national team, and they're a well-oiled machine, and we gave them a run for their money tonight. And ultimately, it's one of these things where we're proud of ourselves, but, we let a few games get away that maybe we should have won, and it's one of these things where we're in the spot, but, we played a good game tonight, and we enjoyed it. But as someone who played in Portland, that was a rivalry that was fostered, over 4 years, and it's one of these things that I have that Maxi has, and maybe other players don't, but it's one of these things where I enjoy gutting the fish, and, they're going to go on, they're going to play in the playoffs, and, hopefully, if things go right, maybe we can squeak in, but, that rivalry stemmed from a lot of respect, and ultimately, it's something that I don't think I'll ever lose.
Seeming that the Austin match is just, a couple of days away also, might not get to talk to you before then. Regardless of what happens in the playoff race, how much do you guys want to get another victory over another Texas rival and then potentially getting that Copa Texas for them?
It's massive. It's massive for us, and it's massive for the fans. We have a very bitter taste from the last time we played there. And I have a good memory, and at least soccer memory, right? Ask my wife, maybe it's different. But I have a good soccer memory, and I can remember bad results, and I remember bad plays, and I remember mistakes I've made. And, I scored no goal last time we played there, and then I got beat on a header. As well. Yeah, we played down a man, but those are mistakes where we're in a low block, and that shouldn't even matter if we're down a man or not. So I remember those things personally, and I know our team does. And it's one of these things where that's important to us. And whether we're in the playoffs or still battling or not, we're still going to want to go there and win that for our supporters. We're going to want to win it for this city because we want to make it known that we are the dominant team in the Texas rivalry. We have the most championships of any of the team in the Texas rivalry. Obviously, Austin just came into the league, understandably so, but we want to make that known, and that's important to us, and it's important to our fans. And it's one of these things where a lot of times these rivalries, MLS can create a rivalry, right? They can do the Trillium Cup, right? Oh, what is this? Columbus played Toronto. Oh, that's when they play, it's nothing. But it's one of these things where when you play in a rivalry, where a derby, where it's 2.5 hours, 3 hours away, that means something to the fans, right? It's not just Dynamo against Dallas. It's Texans against the Cowboys, right? It's the Rangers against the Astros. This is not just our sport. So there's a lot of pent up, I would say, just pent up energy in those games. And you can't fabricate that. So when we play there, their fans want it. Their fans are in it. And we feel that, right? And when they came here, they felt it as well. And it's one of these things where we want to go there and put on a good performance against a good team, right? They play great football. We talk about it there. They play a very specific style, and they own that. For the good and for the bad. And it's one of these things where they want to go definitely earn that. Obviously, both of us are, lower in the table, and it's going to be one of those things where maybe we might not be fighting for playoff spots ultimately at that time. Time will decide. But that's important to us, and that's important to our fans. We want to set that precedent down from the beginning that Houston's a dominant city and that we have to own that. We beat Dallas when we've had to, and we beat Austin and we've lost to them, but now we have one more game to decide that. And if that's, the biggest thing that we're going to fight for towards the end of the season, then we're going to fight our balls off. Oh, no. Sorry. We're going to fight really hard. Sorry.
Thanks, Zarek.
What?
Go enjoy that scene, Arnold.
I think we're outside of the primetime window, so.
No, it's okay. No, Zach, we're good.
No, I catches me with the word choice. I think we're outside of the kid-friendly time zone.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just.
We'll finish.
No, I'm passionate. I'm passionate. I'm sorry. I'm passionate about this team, and I'm passionate about playing for the city. Like, that's cool. Like, it's exciting to be in these derbies, and it's big. I know for Portland, it was big to win the Cascadia Cup. That's a big deal, and it's big for our fans. And if we can't get into the playoffs in which they deserve, then we better try our hardest to make sure that we can win that for them.
I agree completely. We'll finish up with Garrett Heinrich. Go ahead, Garrett.
AZ, Tab said that last free kick, he was very happy to not have a heart attack when it hit the post. What was your feeling when you saw it go, and then when it got cleared out? How'd you feel?
As the guy on the end of the wall, I can feel immediately whether it's dangerous or not, because they only set up with the right footer. And sometimes when it's left or right, I might be in a position differently. And I was in a position at the end of the wall when he hit it. I was like, oh boy, that's going to be some danger. I didn't know whether it was in or not. And then ultimately it hit the post and somehow came out. And then it's a mad scramble, right? It's like a fumble in football. Everyone's diving in. Tolo's on the ground. I'm running over him. And guys are trying to clear the ball. Mikey's punching it. Sam's just kicking. Like, it's just a mad scramble. And it's one of these situations where that's honestly the little bit of luck that you need at times in this league to get results and to sometimes propel you over the playoff line or not. We've been in situations this year where we hit the post and it goes out. We hit the post, twice? 3 times tonight? And
4 times tonight.
My bad. 4. All right. So we hit it. We hit the post 4 times tonight. And, one of them was like right in the corner. And it like almost maybe hit both. And then, there was a few of these. So that's the little bit of luck that teams need to potentially get results in this league. And we got a little bit of that tonight because that's football. That happens. Sometimes the bounces go your way. Sometimes Darwin Seren, slips randomly in the middle of a game, and whatever it be might happen. But ultimately, we had each other's backs. We fought really hard throughout the course of the 90 minutes. And the subs that came on did a great job to help us maintain that, and we all put in a shift. Again, against a very good team. Against a very, very good team it's a machine at this point. They've shown whether they rotate players or they have injuries or whether some guys aren't there. Jordan's not even there. Ladero's been injured. That they know their system and they're very good at that. And that's something that I think makes it always, always hard to play against them. And again, ultimately for me, I enjoy these tough matchups. I enjoy the really hard ones because those are fun. You never want to go out and feel, go out and play in a 10-0 game or whatever it might be. I've never played in one of those, but the idea that doesn't seem fun to me, to compete and to go against good players and to make, a little bit of a tactical change, right? Formation changes, stuff and that. Like, that's great. That's really enjoyable football for me. And it was good to get a result. And, we haven't done that enough this year, and they have, but ultimately we're going to enjoy tonight, and then maybe we get some results, but regardless, all we can do is control the controllables.
And then post-game, it's been a crazy 2 years for you here, obviously, with everything going on around the world, but we got to see your son run onto the field for you. How did that feel for you to get to see him and take him on the field and have that moment with him after a big win?
It's everything. After a big win, I always take my shin guards off, win or lose, and I, go greet my teammates, usually the goalie first and the center backs. And to see him run on the pitch, actually run, because the first time he's only ever been on the pitch one other time, and that was the last game in 2019 where my wife had to pass him because he was 3 or 4 weeks old. And to see him actually run on the pitch and want to kick the ball, like, it gave me a lump in my throat, man. I almost started crying on the field. Like, that's everything. Family's everything, dude. And to be able to spend these good moments with our family is everything, because win, lose, or draw, they're there, right? But ultimately, we all enjoy celebrating these moments a little bit more with the closest people. And to have my wife there, this has been one of Cam's first games. We finally sucked it up because, credit to my wife, pushing the nap back, pushing all dinner back, pushing everything back and keeping him occupied and having the headphones when we needed to. And he can be cranky. I mean, pushing a baby until 9:30 at night or 10, like, that's really difficult. So credit to Liz for hanging in there. And also credit to Cam because he was excited. You know, when these guys steal the balls from us and Cam just wants to kick the ball around the field, you know, I got to talk to the groundskeepers, whoever's stealing these Eddie's assistants. My son wants to have a good time. But regardless, like, that's everything. And you see that. And you see the joy in people's face when they can share a hard-fought victory with their kids. And I see Maxi and I see Darwin, I see Minor. Like, that's family. And we're trying to create that kind of culture here. And it takes time. And there's a lot of ups and downs. But I think we're trending in the right direction. And I know the Dash is trending in the right direction. This club is moving in the right direction. Obviously, we have new ownership and things along those lines. And that's the type of stuff that's going to ultimately, you know, get this club back to the glory in which they deserve.
Thank you.
All right, Z, I think that's a good place to leave it. Thanks for taking some time. I'm sure you got folks waiting on you, so we'll let you go with that.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Zach, and thanks everyone for sitting around. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a great night, man.
Thank you.